Alright, to do the printing on the fabric, you need to take your freezer paper and cut it down to a regular printer paper size that goes into your printer. My normal printer only does 8.5 by 11, but I have a larger printer that can do up to 11 by 17. Just as long, whatever size will go into your printer, cut your freezer paper. It'll have a shiny side and a matte side. The easiest way I have found is to take your fabric that you're going to print on. This is just some linen like fabric. It does not have to be white, but it does need to be a color that will go with, that you'll be able to see your printing on. So if you wanted to do just a black and white image, then you can put it on a colored fabric. With this being a white linen, or a wood look white linen, I can do full color. Take your freezer paper and shiny side down to the fabric and iron it on. I use a medium, it's like the 2-dot setting on my little thing. I honestly don't know what that is. And you just go back and forth. You can use a heat press, a Cricut thing, a regular iron. This just happens to be the iron I have because it's small and can be stored easily. But you just iron down, make sure your edges are good, and then cut around your piece of paper. It'll be stuck down, and then cut around it to the exact size of the paper. Then you will load the paper into your printer, however, whichever side. Mine, it loads into a tray underneath the printer, so I need to use a face down. So I would put the fabric side down and it'll pull it up and around and print on the fabric then. Afterwards, I'm going to cut the video, print it off, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, after it comes out of the printer, I take a waterproofing spray. This just happens to be the one that I've got at the moment. You can use the stuff from the camping section. This is for boots. Just as long as it's some sort of a waterproofing spray. You do not have to do this step, but I recommend it because different printer brands do differently. Some of the inks will wash completely out if you get them wet, or go spotty if you get them wet. That's why I recommend doing some sort of waterproofing spray onto it. And what I do is I just leave it on the backing and then spray it, let it dry, and then you are ready to just peel it off. This is ready to be sewn together, used as an applique, whatever. And as you can see, the colors are pretty vibrant. This is a kind of see-through linen, so you can kind of see through it a little bit. But this piece of freezer paper, what I would do, because this is not a tightly woven mesh, as you can see, it's kind of got ink on it. take a baby wipe or a paper towel with some damp water or alcohol on it. I have this at reach. Just a little bit and wipe it down. Let it dry, and this is reusable. I also use this freezer paper. I take my patterns and trace it on it because it is, I think, 18 inches wide. And I hate using pins, so I just use this as my pattern paper, and I iron it down, cut out my pieces, and they're ready to go. Like I said, this here, you can use it, applique it onto something, or like this, I'm going to turn into a small bag, put it over, sew around the edges, fold down the top, stitch that down, and if you don't feel like sewing, you can get the Surebond seam tape, or no-sew seam tape, or if it's for light use, hot glue, if you want to no-sew. But that's pretty simple. Hopefully that helps.
Printer settings.
Oh, for the printer settings, I just use the highest quality that I had, and just regular paper.